Well, Hobbs and Shaw wasn't technically hard for me to shoot. The thing that made it really hard is at the time I was shooting God. I mean, a lot of the scenes were really fun to shoot, but I would. My best story with Lamorne. There's so many good stories with Lamorne. Lamorne's a very, very funny human being. I love working with actors, and honestly, I've been so lucky to work with such incredible ones as well. But I'm actually more funny enough. I'm more director-driven and DP-driven. I love DPing. I that's actually what I wanted originally to be. A director of photography. I love photography, and aesthetics is something that I find super fascinating and intriguing. So I'm very much director-driven more than actor-driven. However, I obviously would love to work with more female actresses. I feel like I make an active choice to do so, but I would love to do more. I'd love to work with Natalie Portman. I'd love to work with Cate Blanchett. There's so many people that I'd love to work with. Gary Oldman's someone that I'd love to, that I admire. John C. Reilly, I love. It kind of runs the gamut for my taste in actors, but I'm very much more director driven. And music driven as well. I love to work with Hans Zimmer at one point, and work with Chivo, and work with Roger Deakins. Like, there's so many people. Christopher Nolan, Denis Villeneuve. Like, there's a lot of people that I like to work with, and Steven Spielberg. So we'll see. Like, there's a lot of people. Wow, I am a big cinephile. Like, I watch basically everything. And that's kind of the running joke with my friends, is Eiza has seen every single film. And it's really hard to choose one. I mean, at the time, I think that when I was younger, when it comes to filmmaking, I remember the first time I saw Blade Runner, I was kind of blown away by it. My brother was a huge Blade Runner fan, and so that's kind of my love for Ridley Scott kind of lived there. And then I remember watching Die Hard for the first time, and I was just in such awe because it was like entertaining, but it was like smart but funny, and Bruce Willis was so good, and I was such a huge Mad Max fan growing up. So I always like that type of films. And then obviously I loved Baz Luhrmann. I was a massive, obviously being a singer, I loved anything that involved music, and the way that he shoots is so incredible. So Romeo and Juliet, and obviously Moulin Rouge, and all the movies that he did sort of marked my career. And there's absolutely so many movies that I could say. Eternal Sunshine for a Spotless Mind. There's so many. Requiem for a Dream was one of the first movies that I saw that I was kind of blown away by it, and I was watching it when I shouldn't have watched it, really young. But yeah, it kind of like sparked my love for cinema, and I love watching every genre type of film. I'm a fully go to the movies, watch movies by yourself kind of girl. I was born and raised in Mexico City. My family is from Sonora, Caborca, which is a place close to the border. I think my Wikipedia page is completely wrong because it says I was born in Sonora, but I'm actually born in Mexico City. I would be what they considered a chilanga, which is what they call people from Mexico City. I mean, a lot of the scenes were really fun to shoot, but I would definitely say that I think that shooting the fight scene was really fun. I loved my outfit, and it felt very sleek and cool, and I trained quite a lot to do that scene, so it was really fun. And then obviously the underwater stuff was really challenging, and so I felt very proud of myself when I was done, because it took a lot. I had to wear this weighted vest that kind of drags you to the bottom of the water, and I had to work a lot of my anxiety and not be paranoid of like drowning, and had to learn to do diving. So it was really fun, and I was just so in awe with the incredibly talented stunt team, as usual, that they do this for a living. And it was a female stunt, obviously, and she just did such an incredible job, and she taught me how to do jiu-jitsu underwater, which was really cool. So I love that, and I can't wait for you guys to see that scene. I do have tattoos. I think I've lost count, but I think I have like 14 at the moment. I had a lot of dumb tattoos from when I was young, so I encourage you, if you're young, to not do it, because then you'll regret it. But yeah, and then I have very meaningful tattoos as well. So yeah, I do have a couple of them. My best story with Lamorne, there's so many good stories with Lamorne. Lamorne's a very, very funny human being. He's just a goofball and such a good energy to have around. I absolutely adore him. And it just prompted to an incredible relationship. We're really good friends and we are there for each other. And he was just fun to be around and he's like a cool guy. So I actually didn't get to shoot that much with Lamorne, sadly, but he's so good in the movie, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. He's really, really funny. He really brings the comedic side of the story and just nails it per usual. And I was just such a fan from his like prior work and New Girl, so I was excited to have him in the project. I would describe KT as a strong, obviously. She used to be a soldier, and so she's completely capable and independent, and I thought that was really cool. Rarely we get to see roles of women, and especially female soldiers, and I think that so many women we have to honor that have gone to war and done so many things for this country, and so I thought that was incredible. And then second of all, I thought it was really great because she still had such a heart and such a loving persona. She has so much compassion, yet she's so great at what she does, and she doesn't need any guy to help her out, but still felt real. She felt human. I felt like I could connect with it. Girls could look at her and feel a connection. And also what I thought was beautiful, it sent such a positive message about being okay, being yourself. I feel like as women, we consistently see all these roles on screens. Either you have to be super tough and badass and have no emotion, or be the damsel in distress. And she sort of felt like okay being herself. There's this very powerful line in the scene where she says, "This is who I am now, and I'm okay with it." And I think that as a social message, that was such a positive for younger girls watching this movie, that being who you are and being okay with your flaws and with the mistakes that you've done in your life, or if you don't feel like you're good enough. It just in general was such a positive message of a female leading character, and I really enjoyed being her. I met with the director, Dave, and his vision was just so fascinating to me. I had seen his prior work. He used to do trailers for video games and Star Wars, and he's just so good at the visual aesthetic of this type of film. So I was very fascinated. And I also always encourage, when you're in a good place as an actor, to work with first-time directors, just because it's important to open the doors for others. And so I've done that quite a lot. That year I had worked with 4 new first-time directors, and that was really exciting. And then the script is really interesting. Eric, the writer, did such an incredible job to kind of make loops and make it like an unusual type of action film. So I really enjoyed the story. And then last but not least, it was just like the cast. It was such an incredible cast between Sam and Vin and Guy Pearce, who I grew up looking up to, and just having the chance to work with him in Powwow. And it was just a fully rounded cast. And we also had people doing comedy in the movie. So it was really exciting. I learned a lot. Well, Hobbs and Shaw wasn't technically hard for me to shoot. The thing that made it really hard is at the time I was shooting Godzilla vs. Kong in Hawaii, and I had to fly for a few days back and forth. I was going from one set to the other, and I was going to London and then to Hawaii, and then I was going to Australia to finish Kong. And so at first I wasn't going to be able to be part of Hobbs and Shaw, which was very disappointing because I was slammed. I shot Kong for such a long time. So it was incredible that everyone made such an effort to make it work, and at least made it easy for me to be part of the universe. It was really important for them to make me part of the universe, whether it was a cameo. And but now it's really exciting because we're part of the Fast and Furious franchise, and the world's our oyster, and it's continuing to expand. So I'm just proud of being part of that family. I have a lot of Vin for days now.